Hello, hello, hello. We are back to the roots with a video from Hoe Math called Guy Pretty Privilege, which I'm going to assume is about how about you can get away with anything as a guy. And we're going to hear all these women talk about the things they let attractive guys do, which is going to break your heart if you're a black pill incel type. Which could never be me, obviously. I would never be in that category ever. Um, because I'm just too cool. I'm just too cool to be an incel. But let's get into it. And this is my unadulterated reaction, by the way. This is my first reaction. No scripts, no nothing.
The amount of stuff you can get away with if you're attractive is literally so insane. And everyone talks about women pretty privilege, but no one ever talks about guy pretty privilege.
I always appreciate it when
Okay, here's the difference between guy pretty privileged and he's gonna go over right here with how he's hypergamy. Yeah. Guess what? Hypergamy exists. Thank you, Hoe Math. Thank you. It's actually kind of good because he's putting it in these clean visuals, which is what you need for dumb fucking middle schoolers. But the problem is that all women are expected to be pretty. So it's not really like a privilege if you're a pretty woman. It's more like a hierarchy. Women are arranged hierarchically by men according to their attractiveness. So there's no like cheat code. If you're hot as a woman, it's not like a cheat code the same way it is as a guy. Because this is what they're talking about. They're like, oh, all the stuff I wouldn't let other guys get away with. Right? So it's a cheat code. It's like, oh, I get to escape reprisal and accountability because I'm attractive as a guy, right? Whereas women are ranked hierarchically, and you know this because we rank women on a scale from 1 to 10, right? That's what like all these Brian from the whatever podcast and Fresh and Fit people do is they rank women on a scale of 1 to 10. Women don't really operate that way. Women operate differently. So let's figure out how.
women understand the different ways that they treat different types of men. Guy pretty privilege is another word for hypergamy. So first of all, I'd like to thank her for noticing. And second of all, I have a few stories for you to try to encourage you to maybe move up a few notches if possible. But first, listen to how she understands. It's therapeutic.
I think if the unattractive guys tried to do the things that attractive guys did to girls, they would be called out for harassment.
Yeah, exactly. This girl from an old video said, don't catcall me unless you're attractive, and then she said it was a joke, which means it's kinda true.
But if an attractive guy did what unattractive guys did, it would be considered cute.
This is where my stories come in. I did some not very cute things that went over just fine.
I feel like attractive guys have kind of like a act like an asshole card that they could use whenever they want because they have a pretty face, and they have unlimited ways on how to hit on women without being a creep.
Yeah, you
Well,
can.
it's okay. It's kind of funny actually watching this because Hoe Math and this lady are hyper overcomplicating what's going on, which is that if you have good genes, people want them. They don't care if your personality shit. They don't really care how you approach them. They don't. The specific pickup line you use really has no fucking. This is why pickup artists are scams, are roaches, are liars, are thieves. Because there's no pickup line, Alex playing with fire, calling you out, that you can use that will get you laid, that will get you a woman. It might maybe push you over the edge of like, oh, I was thinking about it, 99%, and oh, that cute pickup line just did it. But it isn't going to make or break it. It's not an important element. Is what I'm trying to say is your pickup line, what you say, how you really, even how you present yourself is not really that important. It's not. It's what do you have under the hood? That's really what, because women are opportunistic. We know this. All the red pill understands this already, that women are looking for opportunity. And if you have goods, people want them. It is in many ways a market. And there is no. Okay, here's how I see pickup artists. Imagine you have a bazaar in India, and they're all trying to sell random shit. Some guy's selling durians, other guy's selling bananas, and you're trying to sell random little wooden artifacts that you made from your hut to try to make money. Your little wood carving artifacts, right? Because That's what you do. You're a wood carver. So because your wood carvings are kind of useless, you have to like sell them. You have to like create a story around your wood carvings so that people will buy them. So you go, hey, this one here was from my grandmother. This one's got her thumb right on the back and it's got her inscription. And this one is a duck and it fucking... You invent the legend of the duck and fucking... I don't know. So you got to create a cool story around your products so that people will take interest in them and buy them. And this is important to an extent, but it's limited because you're kind of creating value out of thin air, which is not sustainable. Like if you weren't trying to sell a dream and try to spin your product into something good, then it would just be a fucking piece of wood and people wouldn't buy it. You're not actually producing any value to the market or to society, to the consumers, by spinning a story. You're tricking them. You're essentially tricking them into buying a product that you've convinced them is worth something, but had they not been convinced and bedazzled and bamboozled and beleaguered by your sales tactics, they wouldn't have bought it. They would have acted rationally. So that's why I think of pickup artists. They are scams. They are kind of evil, honestly, kind of evil. They're like OnlyFans if you think about it, because they basically try to get men pussy. They try to they sell men sexual access to women, which is what OnlyFans women do. Is they, in moderation, they sell a degree of sexual access to their body for money, for a subscription. What do the pickup artists do? They sell you a plan, a course, which is supposed to get you sexual access to women for a fee. It's basically the same thing. The only difference is that at least the OnlyFans girl is honest and it's straightforward. You're like, you give me $10 a month, I give you naked booty pics, right? Or whatever it is, feet pics. I don't know what guys go on OnlyFans for. Role play and cosplays, right? And it's straightforward. You pay your fee, you get your thing. But with the pickup artist, it's like, yeah, this pickup line's supposed to kind of help you maybe get this date. And it's like, do you think the guys who slay pussy took your course? You know, do you think Chad and Tyrone took your little alpha male course? I don't think they did. No, I don't think they did. I think they'd laugh at you, actually. I think they'd fucking laugh at you. I would too. So it's kind of a lie, right? So there's this kind of lie going around that, the pickup line you use will help, and it's all a distraction, okay? It's really, how attractive are you? How desirable are you? How hot are you? How useful are you? How strong are you? How much money do you make? Everything else is really semantics. Everything else is the dressing and the icing and the extra stuff. None of it really matters, really. I don't think any of it does. So when people are like, oh, attractive men can get away with XYZ, it's like, yeah, because not all men were ever meant to have an equal chance. Like, I would reprimand the guys who say, yeah, if an attractive guy said what I said, you'd think it was cute. I'm like, yeah, she would. Because she doesn't think his pickup line is good because the pickup line is good. She thinks his pickup line is good because he's hot. The pickup line is really like, it's an invitation, right? But it's really just a way to connect two people. And if she likes you, she'll want to connect with you. She'll accept whatever offer you throw out there. It's like a job interview. They don't have to give both of you an equal chance. If Buddy over there has 8 years experience, they don't even have to fucking interview you. They can just hire Buddy. They don't need to fucking let you work at the company and prove yourself. No, they just fucking hire Buddy with 8 years experience. They don't need to hire you. Same with women. They don't owe you anything. They're looking for act like, and that's the other thing with these fucking pickup artist skanks is they lie to men and they try to convince you, oh, just do XYZ and you'll get women. You don't have to develop social skills. You don't have to make a bunch of money. You don't have to work out and da da da. Just fucking take my course, bro. Learn how to talk to women, bro. Learn female psychology, bro. Learn Riz. You know what I mean? Like, it's fucking dumb shit. And really, it's just it's a very transactional thing. Like, you could almost like if you're an attractive guy, you could pretty much like it's just social niceties, guys. It's social niceties. It's nothing else. If you're an attractive guy, you could just go up and say, hey, can I take you on a date? You could probably unironically do that. Now, you might need a little conversation starter so you're not creepy. You might need something like, I guess it depends on the context, of course. It could be like, hey, can I introduce you to my favorite drink at this fine establishment? I really like it. I want to see what you think. My drink tastes weird. Harry, can you tell for me? You know, something random. But it's all meaningless. It's all meaningless. The whole, oh, pick up lines, oh, say this, say that. It's all meaningless. It's all just how attractive you are and how much value, not just physical looks, but it's also how much money, how much network, how useful are you, what skills do you have, what kind of personality do you have, do you have a good temperament, do you have a good mind, good head on your shoulders, all that shit, right? So yeah,
Can say quite a wide range of things, and it will be okay, but only as long as she feels like this about you. This is a drawing of me when I was at my most attractive and a relationship that I had during that time where I did nothing and she did more than she should have. This is a timeline of that relationship. I had a crush on this girl when I was 11, and she pretty much ignored me until after college when I lost weight and got in shape. And she sent me a suggestive message on Facebook where she saw my pictures, and we began a certain kind of relationship. And eventually, she let me know that she had been cheating on a different guy with me. And I said, well, that's a bad idea. You should probably either have a boyfriend or have fun, and you should pick one. And so she did. She got rid of him and said, now we can be together. And I said, well, that's not part of the deal. This guy's just gonna be me later. And she said, oh darn, and continued seeing me anyway. And also, I had no money and she had money, so she paid.
okay, so this is kind of interesting. We're learning about Hoe Math. So I've learned multiple things about Hoe Math. One is he had this crush on a girl when he was 11, and then he somehow stuck around her long enough to see her when she was 25, which is weird. So this is not just some nobody. Probably someone who has lived near him his entire life. But anyway, then he dates a woman when she's 25. So unless he has a crush on a younger girl when he was 11, which is weird, so I'm assuming she's older. Because usually when like young boys have crushes, it's not on like a little toddler, right? It's on like a fucking. It's usually up, right? It's usually age up. Young boys having crushes, it's usually up in age or level. So he's dating someone who's 25. Already, that's like, really, dude? You consider yourself the 8 with a 4, and yet you're dating someone who's 25. Why? There's no reason to be dating anyone over the age of 25.
Paid for everything while I continued to see other girls on the side. That's how much difference this can make. If you can cross this line, you're going to experience quite a big power differential.
Unattractive guys have to be more slow.
Well, I actually want to contend this point because he is kind of right. He's kind of right. And this is an idea I've definitely seen thrown around, which is that, oh, if you can just overcome the Pareto distribution, if you can just overcome the bottom 80%, then all of a sudden you have all this leverage in a very short amount of time. The real answer is more something like a lot of the leverage that guys appear to not have is mostly appearance. And it mostly just comes down to either women being stupid and dating being dysfunctional, or it comes down to the culture convincing men that women are the prize. Like, it comes down to culture convincing men that, oh, you're ugly, you're useless. Why would anyone want you? You need to go pursue women. You need to go donate all your money to women. You need to go chase women. You need to da 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 da. Women are these amazing goddess queens, and you're just a little loser. And it's this kind of culture that has convinced men that they're not that useful and they need to appease women. I gotta pay for the date. I gotta take her out. I gotta do this. I gotta do that because I'm a lonely, miserable, ugly little twat. And it's like, not really, because you're basically her ticket to freedom when she hits 40, when she hits 50, when she doesn't want to work anymore, when her back doesn't work anymore, and she doesn't want to live in low-income housing. You're all she's got. You know what I mean? If her fucking car breaks down, who's going to fix it? If her, if a light switch goes out, who's going to go fix it? Like, do most women even know where the breaker room is in their house? Do they know how to fix a breaker? I'd say most don't. So it's like, so really it's more just like the value of masculinity and the value of the male contribution to a relationship has been undervalued. But it is incredibly valuable, and men have been gaslit into thinking that they're useless. And women are just stupid, thinking that, oh, I'm 20. This 20-year-old guy here, he's useless. Why would I date him? He's a loser. I'm a beautiful boss babe. I'm going to go. And you can prove this is all delusion and a lie, and it's not reflective of reality, this whole hypergamy bullshit, is that as soon as they do that, they all turn 30 with, like, single mother shit, and they got some spawn over there, some fucking Tyrone spawn in the corner. And then they're out begging for scraps. They're all like, oh, I want a nice husband who's, provider, and he's just stable, So it proves that, like, yeah, like, this whole system is a joke. And women, but even this Hoe Math guy, where he's like, I guess my argument to Hoe Math would be, yeah, but hypergamy really is a female-driven concept. It's not reflective of reality. And the reality is that women need men a lot more than their hypergamy would suggest.
Low about it, they have to be more nonchalant and sneaky about hitting on a girl.
Sneaky, okay. We used to call that getting to know someone. When you're familiar with somebody, it becomes easier to create that bond. And maybe you, as an individual, can work your way out of it, but you can't have everyone works their way out of it. Because if they did, and everybody became more attractive, women would just reevaluate this into another one of these. There would be 80% of the guys who made.
Well, we already did that. I mean, the fact that women call 5'9" short tells you something about human evolution, right? Because most of society was below the height of 5'8", right? People call Napoleon short. He's a fucking normal-heighted guy, normal-heighted Frenchman. Like, we've definitely increased in attractiveness, definitely increased in height as a society. Even if you're like a 4 today, you're still probably infinitely more attractive and symmetrical and healthy than any of your ancestors. So, this has already happened. But yes, you're right.
It would be reevaluated into the didn't make it zone. And those guys have no choice. They have to get familiar with women first. Otherwise, they just get completely left out. And that's why the world is looking more and more like this. People don't get to know each other anymore. And if you try, women will call it sneaky. That's the one thing she said that I didn't like.
They also can't be arrogant and rude, where a lot of attractive guys get away with being rude.
That's me. I used to be rude.
I would actually disagree with this. I would disagree with this idea. Because, okay, here's the general problem I have with Hoe Math and with well, not really Hoe Math. He's just reporting on the news. But here's my problem with hypergamy in general: is it's a system of sexual reproduction, which is and it's a problem with the black pill as well. Is it's a system of sexual reproduction and sexual access, and it's a sexual market worldview, which is 100% orbiting around the concept of physical attractiveness, which really isn't a good way to describe male-female dynamics and the sexual marketplace. Like, yes, in 2024, where everyone is glued to their phones and they're all looking at these supermodels and everybody's hyper obsessed with beauty, especially here in the West, we just take it as granted that, oh, it must be in our evolution that everybody must be super attractive or else they don't get laid. And it's just not really true as well. That's the other part, is it's just kind of not really true. There's plenty of guys who are not super tall, who are not super, jacked or whatever, who get women. Happens all the time. Yeah, so I mean, it's definitely an important factor. I'm not saying it's not, but it's this idea that it's that the whole sexual marketplace orbits and revolves around how hot you are, and it's this obsession with beauty that I kind of hate. Honestly, I hate the obsession with beauty and the obsession with looks in general. It comes off as very narcissistic of our culture and very vain and disgusting. And I would not advocate or herald that kind of a system as reality, which I guess Hoe Math is doing a bit of.
So bitter after I found out the difference between how people treat you when you move from here to here, that I actually made a game out of what is the rudest thing that I can say to someone who I know already likes me before she doesn't like me anymore. And I never found it. I wrote a few of them down, but I don't feel safe showing you. I played other games too. I once met a girl on the computer. I went to her place 3 times without ever telling her my name. And then on my way out the door the 3rd time I said, "Are you gonna ever ask me my name or what?" And she said, "I didn't want to offend you." Like I was gonna say, "Whoa, you're moving a little fast, aren't we?" No, I'm not encouraging any of this behavior. This is degenerate.
I hope not.
The only reason I did it is because I was bitter, because I couldn't be liked without being likable. I didn't want to put in the work to get out of this area, and when I find...
This is more proof. This is like, I hear this too, where it's like, oh, well, what happens when you become Alpha Giga Chad with your millions of dollars and your Bugatti and your fucking 6-pack, and then women only want you for your money? That's more proof that this is a broken system. When you win a crooked game, nobody's happy, right? There is no winning a crooked game. Nobody's happy. You're not happy being the billionaire fag lord who's fucking stealing money from idiot civilians like fucking Mark Zuckerberg. Do you think Mark Zuckerberg's happy? Do you think Elon Musk is happy? Do you think fucking... When I say happy, I don't mean like happy as in pleasure. I mean happy as in fulfilled, as in proud of themselves and positive outlook on life and good mentals and all that shit. I say fucking no. Fucking no. It's because this entire system is decrepit, and even when you win, you become angry because you know the system is broken. You don't want to even have to play this game at all. And when you win, it doesn't feel any better. It feels like you bought into a broken system. And, but it's a bunch of kids who don't know any better. So, you know what I mean? These kids do not know what's what. They don't know how to navigate the dating realm themselves. They're all just kind of following social media and their impulses, and then this is the system they come up with.
Finally did, I still felt like this on the inside, and I said, oh, now it's my turn to do this to someone else, and that's not what we need more of. That kind of stuff just goes back into the dating pool and makes everybody more miserable and harder to deal with.
Now, the difference between an attractive guy and an attractive girl is like so different. An attractive girl, sometimes like they don't get guys. they get rejected because people get jealous of them, or they're really intimidated, or they're jealous. And it's just really hard to be an attractive girl. But for an attractive guy,
No, that's wrong. I'm sure Hoe Math will point this out, but the reason attractive women get rejected is because they're trying to. When she says rejected, what she really means is these men will not treat them seriously. So it's not they're getting rejected. It's that you got bumped and dumped, and now we won't stick around. Oh, he rejected me. Yeah, okay. After you went back to his place and had sex, then he rejected you. Oh, okay. Plus, women aim up. Women are hypergamous, meaning even if she's an 8 out of 10, she's going to aim for the 9 out of 10. Right? So she's getting rejected because she's dating assholes who are above her league. If she was dating someone on her level, or heaven forbid, 1 point lower in the attractiveness scale, oh my gosh, the end all be all, the magnum opus of dating in 2024 is a point on the attractiveness scale. But if they dated someone on their level and were actually dating normal based people, they would not be encountering rejection.
guy, literally it's like living on the red carpet with silver platters of opportunities handed to you constantly.
Well, not job opportunities. This was roughly my attractive era from here to here, and this was my net worth. And then I had nothing, and now I have internet money. But yeah, she's not wrong. This is an easier position in the market than this. It's easier to get what you want. Now, I wish we could get away from this.
And yeah, I know what he's going to say, but it's all women's fault, right? If all women were not chasing these top 3 guys, the 10s, 9s, and 8s, then you wouldn't have this problem at all, right? This is kind of basic red pill 101. Is if the bottom 70% are getting fucked over, then that must mean the top 30% have it really fucking easy, right? Just to balance it out. It's women who create this. It's women's fault.
App style of dating and back to the classics, but I don't know how we're gonna do that. This might even get worse. At least people are starting to get it. But for now, if you are not working on yourself, you are potentially giving up a lot of power. Just don't misuse it when you get it, or you'll eventually turn into me, but without the internet money.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, that is my... Hoe Math does pretty straightforward stuff. He sounds like he's trying to educate a bunch of 14-year-olds on how dating in 2024 works. But I never hear any of these red pill guys ever advocate, well, except for Andrew Wilson, ever advocate for a better system. Other than just get jacked, bro. Don't be part of the bottom 70%. But he said it himself. If everybody raised their attractiveness, then women would just reevaluate and they would just recalibrate, which is true. So there is no fixing the current scheme we're in. There's always going to be a bottom 70%, no matter how much you raise the average. The real problem is inequality, not poverty itself. And it is, I guess you could relate it to capitalism in that way, guys. We found a small little teensy flaw with capitalism. As much as I love, my libertarian, my capitalist, my free market, my no minimum wage, my no restriction of the movement of labor, aka immigration, so no immigration restrictions, aka slavery. That's actually the logical extent of capitalism, by the way, is just slavery, because they want to remove minimum wage and then they want to do mass immigration so they have better access to workers. That's what the actual capitalists are doing. Republicans are not actually capitalists when it comes to immigration. Anyway, I'm going down a political rabbit hole. My point being that this system is very messed up, guys, and being attractive is important. Yeah, you don't want to be left out. You don't want your future wife to look at you with disgust because you got fat, right? So there's no excuse for being overweight. There's no excuse for being broke. There's no excuse for any of this. But the idea that this is the end all be all, the idea that you have to orient your identity and your compass of value around these superficial traits is incorrect. They're an important element. Don't neglect them. But they aren't the arbiter of value. And the system that operates off of hypergamy is failing in real time, guys. It's failing. So I would not get invested emotionally or attach your identity to being, I'm a gym bro. I'm better than everyone else. I don't need a personality. I don't need religion. I don't need X. I don't need Y. I don't need a family. I don't need kids. I don't need community. I don't need any of this. I just need to be just Andrew Tate. Like, is Andrew Tate married? Does Andrew Tate have kids and family? Is he fulfilled? Or is he in jail? Right? So, that's my point. So, come up with a better system, guys. I find hypergamy is rather uninteresting. It's kind of boring. It's kind of like, oh, we just all go for the most attractive person, and then we have massive inequality. Oh, boo-hoo, right? So, let me know if you have a better system for how we should do dating in the comments down below. I always read the comments. So, take care, guys. Much love. Stay safe, and goodbye.